Before we look at the pending orders that I have for this upcoming week, starting on the 30th of June 2025, we'll look at the DXY. This is the US dollar index, which is the US dollar compared with 6 major currencies. And the only thing to bring to our attention is that on Monday, this is when the US president decided to bomb Iran, and that was quite high impact news. So the US dollar did gain in strength, but only momentarily, only for a few hours. And then everyone got over that news, and the US dollar came back to doing what it's been doing since the beginning of this year. Since mid-January 2025, the dollar continues to decline, and it's made a continuing decline for the rest of this week. And now closing at a price of 97.25, which is the same price it was about 5 years ago. And we are going to continue to see a weakening of the US dollar. Some people saying, well, the US economy is in a great shape. Let's look at the S&P 500. All-time highs, closed Friday, record highs, never been this high before ever, over 6,000. Let's look at the Dow Jones. Wow, record highs, 43,000, nearly 44,000. Amazing. The economy in the US must be doing great. Hey guys, come on. Remember that the top 10% wealthiest people in the United States, they own 93% of the stock market. So how can that be an indicator of the health of the US economy? If the richest people in the United States own most of the stock market, how can that be an indicator that the entire economy for the entire general population is in good shape? Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Now let's go ahead and look at some of our currencies and commodities, and we'll even look at crypto first. Look at Bitcoin, and I hope you took advantage of that trade signal that I gave you on Friday. I said to buy Bitcoin at about 107,200, and if you took advantage of that, I hope you were able to capitalize on that, because you're already in profit. Now it's at 107,700, 107,700. So it did drop quite a bit the previous week. We got down to around 98,000, but then it just recovered all of that and it's come back up and now bouncing around the 107 level. It stayed there for the entire week mostly, and it looks like just creating a new structure here, a new foundation, and now getting ready to go to higher prices. So I hope you took advantage of that signal I gave you to buy at 107,200. But if not, this is a previous support turned resistance that we have now. So it's still a good price to buy at the 107,300 zone, because I do expect Bitcoin to continue to higher prices. I think this upcoming week we'll probably see 110,000 again, and then maybe even higher prices than that. And then we'll just briefly look at oil, US oil. This is a very interesting one. This is the Monday that the US bombed Iran, and everybody said, well, there's going to be chaos in the Middle East and the price of oil is going to skyrocket. Well, it did skyrocket for a few hours, and then the price came right back down to where it was in the same day, and then it's dropped even lower, and now the price of oil is cheaper than it was before the US bombed Iran. But it is what it is, guys. So if you have any comments on the price of oil, let me know in the comments below. All right, let's start looking at the currency pairs, and these are the pending orders that I have in place for you for this upcoming week starting on the 30th of June. And I have a buy limit on the Euro-US based on the continuing decline of the US dollar. So we are bullish on the major pairs with the entry price on the Euro-US at 1.1685. Then the odd US, I have a buy limit on that one, of course, with the entry price at 0.6525. The New Zealand US, a buy limit with the price at 0.6050. The pound US, a buy limit with the entry price at 1.3690. And the USD CAD, a sell limit. Boy, this was a strange move on the close of the US session on Friday. That's a very, very unusual long wick that we see in the last 4 hours of the US session. I have a sell order on the USD CAD. This is market execution. Okay, no pending order, just sell the USD CAD when the market opens on Monday. But be sure and use a stop loss, because over the weekend there has been continuing arguments between the US and Canada regarding tariffs. So there could be a lot more volatility such as we saw on Friday. But generally, I am bearish on the US dollar, Canadian dollar, so we can just sell the USD CAD. And the USD JPY is sell limit. Okay, let it pull back just a little bit with the entry price on the USD JPY at 144.75. And now looking at XAU USD gold, we are seeing gold is now bearish on the day chart and also bearish on the 4-hour chart. The bears definitely have control. Sellers definitely took over on Friday with a huge drop, but that was profit taking, which we normally see at the end of every month. And as Monday is the last day of the month, we might not see any pullback when the Asian Pacific market opens. It might just continue straight down. However, I'm being a little bit cautious, and I have a sell limit at this red line here of 32.78. All right, so just in case we do get a little bit of a pullback, I'll be able to catch that trade for continuing bearish movement on the XAU USD, and expecting gold to go down to our next strong psychological support level of 3,200. You see the resistance lines that we have here, the previous resistance, the previous price points, but gold is now definitely bearish on both the day chart and the 4-hour chart. So the bears have control. Let's look for an opportunity to sell, and I have a sell limit for you at 32.78.